was in the mood, I guess you could say, to watch, or I'm sorry, to... What the heck is my hair doing? Yikes. I was in the mood to have a little, like, rest and relaxation moment for an opportunity to deliberate on the subject of what like one of the most intrinsic aspects of the fantasy really is. Dang, my hair is weird today. What the heck? So, having been raised with religion in the specific denomination that I was cultured regarding, it was not necessarily customary. It was actually frowned upon to indulge in fantasies. So this was something that I myself personally was very, very, I'll even say, repressed about. I kept it all inside. In fact, it was almost so secret that a lot of our relatives were not aware that I was even actively, which I was very actively incorporated regarding. And I just didn't, I was more like determined to prevent additional burdens of conflict, disappointment, etc. So I would, from the time I would say about 7 years old, that's about the time that we had relocated from one state to another state. And I started to learn, oh, things are different from place to place. So I really did concentrate on making things extremely subtle, even secret, so secret that people were not aware that I was a participant regarding the fantasy. But one of the aspects, and this is an intrinsic, very like top priority, very important detail. It's not that the whole fantasy rests upon this idea, but it's that mostly that if you realize that your identity has a place in the fantasy, there's a choice. You can either participate or you can choose to remain an onlooker and simply observe as an onlooker regarding all the information and activities. You can't necessarily do both, though I have seen people attempt to do that, and usually they just end up either extremely confused or disappointed because it's just not going in such a manner that they had seen an ambition for, that they had wanted, that they were seeking to have. So it's either that you are participating because you realize that it is something that you identify regarding, that you are involved, or you simply, even though you recognize you are involved, somehow connected, somehow you don't participate. And you can't do them both. You can't simultaneously, because you're not God. God can do that. But as a human, simultaneously participating and not participating is just not an option for a human. So there were a lot of sophisticated techniques that had been introduced and attempted regarding my personal involvement in the fantasy. And this was, even when I was very small. I remember being a toddler and thinking, wow, that can't be my job. But for whatever reason, there were identities around me that simply persisted, and don't really understand how easy it is for others to grasp, comprehend, just exactly what they're asserting, which is awkward because it's not that complicated when they're right there, present, physically there, The techniques, that we utilize to avoid their involvement in our personal lives is extremely there's a lot of effort and thought happening regarding those things. But they're, the fact that they want to be intrusive or what have you, what would you call that? That's not tricky. That's not difficult. Obviously, they're trying to be disturbing or upsetting or whatever it is. So, and I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the times, having a multifaceted fantasy arsenal, so to speak, to lean on was absolutely intrinsic to my safety. So I don't have a way to complain about what I've been blessed with, is what I consider the fantasy, that it's a blessing. And I don't know, I'm really I'm coming to the point where I'm like, okay, am I supposed to just maintain that it is the single most blessedly awesome thing I've ever really relied upon? Because that's, for the most part, it's about all I can ever really determine is my thought process somehow, which I can't honestly, I can't even muster the smallest amount of guilt about that. I just feel rejuvenated and It's amazing. It really feels nice and wonderful. So, I don't know. Call it what you will. I am definitely seeking truth. I'm definitely attempting to be whatever it is that I am in God's plan supposed to be. And it's not easy. This world is extremely confusing. But it is interestingly enough going in a multifaceted direction that I can understand. And that, to me, is acceptable. So, if this is basically a video that says 3 cheers for the fantasy, I can't quite give it up yet. I don't honestly believe that I ever will competently do that. If I'm supposed to, it's not because I'm the one contributing to that idea. So if it's important for me to do that, it's not because I'm doing it. Yeah, so today is Sunday and we went to our church services but didn't actually sit in the services. But it's a lovely day. Peace, y'all.